Hey guys, it's Ted Bogert. Welcome back to the Ted Show. Y'all know how much I love our musical guest, and today we have the one, the only Vivi is on the show. We're going to talk about trusting the process and believing in yourself. But she's also going to perform and share her journey with us. We're very excited to have her all the way from Europe.
Yes.
Vivi, welcome. How are you this morning, or this evening for you?
Right, so 6 p.m. over here. I'm great. I'm happy to be here on your show. Thanks for having me.
Super excited. I love when the artist picks the title of the show because it's so cool to kind of get an insight. Sometimes it has nothing to do with music. Sometimes it's just an overall thing. And so that leads me to the origin story we talked about before we went live. People love to know about your journey and your musical gifts and when you learned that you really wanted to do this. So give us a little background on Vivi.
Okay, so I am originally from Paraguay, from South America. I grew up in Asunción, capital, until I was 9 years old. And then I moved to Germany with my family, and I've been living here ever since. And for me, singing was never something that I wasn't like one of those artists that know from day one, I want to be a singer.
What did you want to be besides that?
So I was a dancer to start with. I started taking dancing lessons when I was 2, ballet lessons, took lessons 3 times a week. And so for a while I wanted to be a dancer, but then, kids, I wanted to be an astronaut for a while. And then I began singing at home, just to myself, and along to Disney movies. So Disney was always like a big thing. And The Little Mermaid was the one princess that got me into singing.
I gotcha.
And so when I sang along to the Disney movies, that's when my family heard me singing, and they found out, hey, she has a voice.
She can actually sing.
Yeah. Back then, that was when I was around 10 years old. I was living in a very remote part of Germany, and we had not really any good vocal coaches or anything. So I was just singing to myself. And then when I was a teenager, I joined a band in high school, and that's when I realized, hey, singing is actually really fun, and it's something that I could actually do professionally maybe someday.
Yes, so talk about the professional part, because I think that's the biggest deal. It's one thing to have a passion for music, which you obviously do. Right. It's one thing to even have a great voice, but to actually make it your profession and make it your career is a big move. At what time did you decide that? After you graduated high school? When was it that you decided, and what made you decide?
I didn't decide. That's the thing. It followed me. It's nothing that I was after. I moved to Munich to study. I wanted to study filmmaking, actually. But I didn't get into the school that I wanted to get into. And then I majored in sinology, which is Chinese studies. So I studied Chinese, nothing to do with music at all. But I sang with different producers whenever I had the chance to, besides university. And I never really thought that I was going to be a professional singer, but it never really let me go. It always came back. There were always people coming into my life telling me, hey, I want to work with you, I want to work with you here. And so it just decided.
The universe was conspiring to make sure you did what your purpose is, or what you love to do.
So that's why I say trust the process, because you never know what's going to happen. You just got to go with it and trust what's coming. And
what was 2020 like for you? A lot of artists, it was, everybody had to shift and pivot. You're not doing any live performances anymore. There's no in-person collaborations, and then you have to really get used to this whole streaming idea of performing. So tell me a little bit about what your 2020 was like.
So 2020 was, in one way, really quiet. I mean, I'm the lead singer of a big band called Tangential here in Munich. We couldn't rehearse. We had a couple of gigs that were going to happen that all got canceled. Then I was also rehearsing for a musical that I was gonna star in 2020. That was postponed to 2021, and now the premiere has been postponed to next year. So not much was going on. But then also same year, I was signed with IODI, a band from Paraguay, to Tangential Music in England. So it was very quiet on the one hand, but it was a lot happening in the background.
Did you do a lot of songwriting and reflecting during that? Do you collaborate with songwriters?
I went to the studio a lot and recorded. So what we do is my uncle in Paraguay, Jörn Wenger, he is the head of IODI, the band that I am singing with right now. And he sent me a couple of his older songs, and then we worked on them together through the internet. I went here in Munich to the studios, recorded them here, sent the track to him. He worked on them, sent them back to me. So it was a, internet relationship, producer and singer.
You had to figure out how to make it work, right? Because you had no other choice.
Exactly. Yeah.
So what's 2021 looking like for you? What's on the horizon now that I don't know in Germany what's up? I'm in Florida, so we're almost completely open again. So what's 2021 look like for you?
So it's still kind of like 2020. We're still in lockdown, very harsh lockdown, because we're not getting the vaccines as fast as you guys. So everything is closed. But nonetheless, I have had my first single released in February. Yay!
Yay! Congratulations! That's big news.
Yeah, it's a very romantical single that we released 2 days before Valentine's Day.
How'd you pick the first single? I'm always curious about, because that's very hard, because you have so many. I'm sure you have your music that you love, and so you have to pick one baby over the other. And so how did you pick that one? How did you all land on, all right, this is the one we're going to do first?
So I don't know. We just knew this is the song.
You knew, right? It was something you already knew.
Yeah.
Did you collaborate with someone on that song? Tell us a little bit about the process and what's behind the first song, and then we'll roll into that in a second. So
the song is called Stay, and it is a collaboration with IODI, with the band from Paraguay. And actually the backing track for this song was had already been recorded in 1974. And but it was never published, so it was laying there waiting for something to happen with it. And then last year we rediscovered it, my uncle and me, and we worked on the lyrics. And like I told you, I recorded the vocals. Then a guitarist in Costa Rica recorded the guitars. So it was
cool. That's so cool to me. The collaborations everywhere. That's the thing about pivoting. 2020 forced and you in 2021 forces you to figure out a creative way to get the stuff done you got done in a different way before COVID hit. So I love the creativity of that. Yeah. What's it like and we'll go to the song. What's it like working with family on a project?
Amazing. I love it. It's so comforting. It feels I can just be completely myself. I don't have to worry about is it okay what I'm saying or the way I'm looking right now. It's so open, and it's very comforting.
I love it.
Really nice.
All right, tell us. It's time for La Vivi to sing her first song of two. So I'm going to take myself off.
Okay. So for my first song, it's called Stay. It's the single that came out in February. And I have a friend of mine here that will join me with the guitar. His name is Peter Boy. I call him Petey.
Hi,
thanks for coming.
You're welcome.
I love it.
So Stay.
Stay by La Vivi.
Here we go. Stay and never go away. Our lives have a new start. Without you, I'm just lost. Stay and never go away. We promised that we would be wife and husband. You see, stay and never go away. Can this be happening to me? Only you. Stay and never go away. Can this be happening to me? Only to me. Stay. Stay and never go away. We promised that we would be wife and husband. You see, stay and never go away. Can this be happening to me? Only you. Oh, stay and never go away. Can this be happening to me? Only to me. Stay and never go away. Can this be happening to me? Only you. Stay and never go away. Can this be happening to me? Only to me. Stay.
I loved that. So first, the harmony was a surprise. He told me he was playing guitar, but I didn't know he was going to sing. That was excellent. I loved it. I love the mellow. Another reason I take myself off, which I tell everybody this every time a musical guest comes on, is in case you're really bad, my face will show it. So I only want, but that was so good. I could have had myself on the whole time. That was
thank you.
Beautiful. I loved the harmony. I loved the words and the simplicity of the song. Absolutely beautiful. I loved it. All right, so Stay. That was really good. When you sing that, do you go back to the emotional, some emotional point when you're singing it? Are you thinking of anyone or any particular thing or incident?
So there's not a particular incident, but of course I think of my family. I think of I'm married, I have 2 kids, so I think of my husband. Hopefully we'll stay forever together. There's always some kind of emotion that you have to go to, because otherwise you can't reach anyone, and then it just becomes, I don't know, random.
Well, you both definitely emoted when you performed, and I loved that. It wasn't over dramatic. It was, you could tell you were into the music, you're enjoying what you're doing, and you love the song. And a lot of times artists overdo it, overproduce it, over everything it, and then they lose the emotional part. And you guys did a great job of showing that. So thank you. All right, second one.
Second song.
Here we go.
My next single that will be out next month, May 21st. It's a lot jazzier. It's called I've Got My Blues.
Whew. All right.
I've got my blues deep in my being. I've got my hopes deep inside. I've got my goals far away from me, from me, from me. I can sing, I can dance, the blues come true. My hopes are inspired, my goals can be reached, and my approval of me satisfied. I've got my blues deep in my being. I've got my hopes deep inside. I've got my goals far away from me. I've got my blues deep in my being. deep inside. I've got my goals far away from me, from me, me. I've got my goals far away from me, from me, from me.
I'm so mellow right now. I should be in front of a fireplace with a nice cognac. That was beautiful too. I loved
Thank
it.
you.
What was the inspiration for that? It's I've Got My Blues, right?
So yes, it's all about, you know, when you're a bit, you know, you have the blues and you're a bit sad and you feel like everything's really far away and you can't really reach anything, but then you find something within yourself that tells you it's going to be okay. And 2 years ago, I went back to Paraguay, to my home country, and it's just that feeling. I always have it inside of me, and although I miss it a lot, I know it's always here, and it's comforting.
I love that. That was so good. I really was thinking, gosh, I should be in front of a fireplace with a cocktail listening to this. That was beautiful. They're both beautiful. So thank you for coming on the show. That was really good. And you too, my friend over there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Vivi, how do we find you? How do we find your music? How do we download everything that you have? Tell the audience how we can actually reach out and support your musical efforts.
So you can, my homepage that you can see, lavivimusic.com. I will be posting news on it, but then of course we have my songs. You can find them on all digital platforms like Spotify, Tidal, Deezer, Amazon, iTunes, and so on. Just look for La Vivi and IODI, IODI. And
we'll share this and obviously tag everybody. Tell me one last thing before we head out. What's it like? I'm imagining you speak Spanish, English, and German.
And Chinese.
And Chinese. Okay. So if I closed my eyes when you sang, I would have thought this is just an American singing.
Really? Wow.
Yes.
Thanks.
So but is that hard do you record your music in different languages, or do you sing them in different languages, or once you hit it with English, you stay with English?
No, I recorded songs in Spanish. Actually, there's an EP coming out next month also with Chinese songs on them as well. So I sing in Chinese and Spanish and German and English, and it all feels...
We'll have to have you come back on and sing the same song in Chinese, German, Spanish. Yes. And you're welcome back anytime. That was so good. Thank you so much for taking time out of your evening over there in Germany. Yes. I appreciate that very much. You guys get out and support artists like La Vivi. 2020 has been a challenge. She's over in Europe, so 2021 is still a challenge. So let's get out and support them. The best way you can do that is follow their pages, follow what they're doing, download their music, stream them, support their concerts online, all of that good stuff. So please, please wrap your arms around artists like these two. Thank you for being on the show. You guys were awesome.
Thank you.
All right, guys. We'll be back later on. Thank you so much. I'm not paying attention. I was so enthralled in the music. We'll see you guys later.